This is how Cash and Nico built a 400K a month YouTube empire. These guys went from 0 subs and 0 views to making 400K a month in under a year. And here's their secrets. And they did it using a simple flywheel formula. So a couple things here that really stick out from their channels. One, they have 14 million combined subscribers. They've also gotten 4 billion views all in under 2 years. That's fucking insane. I mean, there's probably give or take a couple 100 million short form views, but it's literally close to 4 billion long form views. That's 2 billion views a year. That's fucking insane. So here we're kind of gonna pocket watch. We're gonna kind of, read into how much these boys be making. Okay, Cash. Oh, right here, look at, we can see all time. Here all time we can see that Cash has gotten 2.2 billion views and Nico has gotten 1.3 billion views. Fucking insane. Crazy good success. These guys are really talented, really smart. They're really good at what they do. So I really want to break down how exactly they've been able to do this so you can take these learnings and apply them to your own channel. So Cash has made $11 million in 2 years, making around 300K last month alone. Nico made around 6 million in 2 years and is making around 100K a month every month. And this is not even mentioning their side channels. They each have 2 to 3 other channels in different niches like Roblox, IRL, all these different things. So how do they do this? How do they make basically $500,000 a month combined for the last 2 years straight? Well, the answer is kids videos, specifically Minecraft gaming videos. And they've been putting out a video a day, every day for the last 2 years. I mean, just look at these videos. I mean, this is like literal crack for kids. Extremely bright colors, crazy actions, 20-minute long videos, an entire cast of characters. If you think back to when you were a kid and you were watching like Barney, Bob the Builder, whatever you were watching, I was on that Barney shit. I don't know if he was doing drugs or some shit. I heard some weird stories, but now these kids, they don't watch, shows anymore. They watch YouTube, and this stuff is like crack for them. This is their actual content. They spend probably hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just making the content. If you look at the screenshots of different videos, there's entire worlds being built for each video. I think they have like one common world that they kind of have like their adventures on, but for every single video, they have coders and programmers come in and mod and like build these worlds for them to record. And once again, they're uploading every single day. So this is a thing I like to call a quantity of quality. What they're doing is they're putting really high quality content into the market. It's really well done. It's eye candy. There's really good characters. It's scripted. There's really good plot points, but you're also putting it out once a day. So you've built a really smart system to where you can put out high quality videos every single day. And they're doing this across multiple channels, not just one. Really dive into how they've been able to do this and what we can take away in terms of hiring talent and building systems so that we can also be pumping out an insane amount of quality like this. So going into their background. So I'm not sure about Cash, but I know with Nico, he was in the Minecraft space before he started his kids content. He used to do older kids content. So he would do like, 12 to 18, 22-year-olds, maybe some retarded 25-year-olds. I don't know. Sorry. Sorry, no. Those fucking retarded 25-year-olds, like shots fired. But anyways, so he would make these sort of really high quality videos, but he would also upload once every like 2 to 3 months. But if you're uploading once every 3 months, this is nothing. You're getting like 20 million views in a year. This really isn't a consistent way to make money, but also just build a business on YouTube. So what do? They pivoted. They're like, okay, we're really good at YouTube. We're really good at making YouTube content, but our current model doesn't work. And so they looked at AFMAO. So this is really interesting. This kind of goes into finding a proven formula and then also spotting a gap in the market. So AFMAO has been a Minecraft creator that's been basically doing daily kids content for years. I think she's been doing it for 6-7 years. And she's found a crazy amount of success doing this. I mean, you can see 24 million subscribers, 5K videos. If every video hits 2 to 3 million views, you can just start to calculate how many views and how much money they're making. This is the core thing. They found this sort of gap in the market where it's like, okay, AFMAO is making this content and it's targeting young girls, but there's no guy version of this content. There's also no competition. There really wasn't other channels doing this sort of model in the space besides AFMAO. So they came in and they built this really strong formula. So what's the formula? Well, on the surface, it looks like it's very low quality content, like we said, but there is an insane amount of quality optimizing it, going into organizing teams of scriptwriters, teams of programmers, modders, cast of like 4 people in each video, all teams of editors and thumbnails designers for every single upload across 4 different channels. So the crazy thing they've done, and I think this is genius, and this is something that AFMAL themselves didn't do, is you look for outliers outside the space. So on YouTube, there's this really trendy thing, outliers. Everyone's been doing it. You kind of look at what videos have done well. For example, this video, I built a trampoline park in my house, 60 million views in 10 months. Crazy views, right? And it's like, okay, this is done really well in the IRL space. We can build anything in our Minecraft universe. It's a sandbox. We can literally build anything and have any character in it. So let's build it in Minecraft. We know this works. We know kids have clicked on this thumbnail before, so this thumbnail works. We know kids have watched this content. 60 million kids have watched this video, so we know the topic is really good. And then we just take it and bring it into Minecraft. It's unique because we're the first ones to ever do this in Minecraft. So we have a unique moat in that regard, but also we have an infinite amount of videos we can do, and they're all proven, so they can all get millions and millions of views. So this means they know the idea, the title, the thumbnail will all get clicks. So they just need to focus on making really good content. Here's another crazy example. I survived $1 versus $100,000 vacation, 19 million views 3 years ago. Boom, you grab it, you bring it into Minecraft, 2.5 million views a year ago. Once again, same thing. I tried 25 strangers in a box, 22 million views 2 years ago. They do it again, 5 million views in a year. Crazy stuff. This is for a Minecraft video, and this probably costed 1/10 of what the Airac video costed, and probably took 1/10 the amount of time. Okay, so they find an outlier outside the Minecraft space, they bring it into the Minecraft space, and they make really good content for it. Now this next step is pivotal. They create a bucket around it. So if you look, we have the trapping friends in a box for 24 hours based off this idea. Now this did really well. 2.5x outliers, almost 5 million views. So we do it, we rinse and repeat. So if you look here, he's done it multiple times. He's done trapping friends in space, trapping a crush in a box, trapping YouTubers in a box, and these have all pulled over 1 million views of video. So once you find a format, you find an outlier outside the space, you bring it into Minecraft, and once you find a concept that does well, you rinse and repeat, and you milk that format with different keywords. So let's say trapping, so this format is trapping X in a box. So it's like, okay, trapping crush in a box, trapping 100 girls in a box. That's a bit weird. Trapping 100 YouTubers in a box, trapping my best friend in a box, trapping celebrities in a box. There's, so many angles. Trapping blah blah in space. We can now do trapping friends in X, trapping friends in space, trapping friends on the moon, trapping friends in World War II. There's just so many angles we can go. It's an infinite flywheel. Here we have it. We have the flywheel. We have find outlier, create video around it, and then milk it, and then create video around it. And when we find success, we turn it into a bucket. As you can see, this sort of like X has a crush on me, blank has a crush on me format. They've done this 50 times on the channel. 50 times on the channel. This is a bucket where they've gotten 1 million views on every single video, and they've been able to do this 50 times. That is insane. There is no other YouTuber that can do this. Mr. Beast can't do this. No IRL YouTuber can do this. This is literally only done with kids content. And this is a repeatable format where you can get 1 million views a video posting every day, versus if we remember the old format they were doing, posting once every 3 months and getting 8 million views. Which one would you rather do? Once a day, 30 million views a month, or 3 times a month, 8 million views, or once every 3 months, 8 million views. I mean, the math speaks for itself. So their systems, how were they able to build this, right? If we really break down how their whole kind of team works. So we have the strategist. We have the guy who comes up with the ideas, who comes up with the titles and the thumbnails. And then we have the writer. So we have the guy who kind of writes out the intro, the plot points for the video, what location they're going to be at, basically creating the entire story. Then we have the coder, the programmer, the guy who goes in Minecraft and actually creates the building and creates the world. Then we have the cast and crew. These are guys that you probably pay, $20, $30 an hour, and they hop on with you, they record their audio and their point of view from the camera, and boom, you just record for like an hour and make a video. And then you obviously have the design aspect. So the strategist makes the thumbnail idea, send it to a designer, he creates it in under 24 hours. And then we have the editor who chops it up really quickly, and boom, they upload. And if you look at their videos, they don't have crazy editing. It's really, the way they're able to do this, the way they're able to create really good content is with the story they tell, with the ideas they have, with the dynamic, with the cast and crew, and the sort of chemistry and jokes they can launch there, and then also the sort of eye candy of the actual visuals. I recommend you really take the time to watch like 60 seconds of one of their videos, and you'll see these sort of eye candy in their videos. Now, what do I mean by eye candy? I mean like the actual visuals and aesthetics. They have crazy massive water parks. They have, crazy house, crazy visuals. These sort of like, imagine being a 7-year-old and you're like looking and there's just these sort of massive like planes and colorful objects in a Minecraft world. It's really interesting stuff. Then we have, extrapolating to other games. So, they built it in Minecraft, they built this entire team for the Minecraft channel, and then now you just go and you just do this in other games. So you have an IRL channel, and you build the same team for the IRL channel, and then you have a Roblox channel where you can upload every single day, and you built the same team for the Roblox channel. So then you can have multiple different teams making content, posting every single day on multiple channels. And you can get to the point where you're just hopping on your computer, and for your normal 9 to 5, you're working 8 hours a day just recording. That's all you do. This main guy, this Cash, this Nico, they're spending probably 8 hours a day, maybe even less, maybe 6 hours a day, just recording batches of like 5 videos, and they just sit. They hop on, the map's already been made for them, they record their screen, they hop on with their friends, their voice actors, and boom, they record. And so I think this really shows the power of a strong team, of being able to outsource a lot of the work so that you can really scale and do this sort of quantity of quality, but then also just having a really good team. I see one of the biggest bottlenecks working with creators is their team. Like, I don't want to shit on their team. They have, their edits are good, their designers are good, but they just haven't built a system to where they can do a really high standard of quality very consistently. And so you struggle to, and so you kind of struggle to hit deadlines. You struggle to post consistently. You struggle to come up with good ideas. Like, imagine being a creator and it's like, oh, okay, I need to, edit my own video, design my own video, come up with the idea, script it out, record it, do all this stuff in under 24 hours. It's impossible, right? So you need to be able to find the right players who can, spot what makes for a good idea, what spots for what makes a good thumbnail, actually design the good thumbnail and like make it look good, make the Photoshop be good, edit it so that you don't have like, the boring aspects in it, you have a really good progression, have it flow really well. And then obviously even like a channel manager to be uploading, so you can really, really outsource. And I think this is something that YouTubers really kind of lack, even massive YouTubers. Like I remember Mark Rober a couple of years ago, he had like 30 million subs and he was still editing his own videos. 30 million subs, making millions a year, and he's editing his own videos. And it just shows that like, well, one, I think there's maybe like a bit of like an ego or a bit of like I want to control every aspect of the video. And I think what you need to realize is that even if someone like a random editor will never be able to make a quality like an edit you can make, if you can delegate that task to him and he can do 80% and he can do 80% of what you can do, that's already a win, because now you're saving like 5 hours a video of editing and he's getting 80% of the quality you can hit. And obviously, and then if you build systems and SOPs where he can follow a checklist to make sure that he's doing X, Y, and Z for every video so that it hits the standard of quality you want, like it's you can sort of build a business around this content where you're making really good videos. It's not slop, but you're also able to scale and not spend, 28 hours a day making content and have no life. So the secret sauce. I think the key like secret sauce factors with their channels that I think has really helped them blow up is we had this sort of gap in the market where they really kind of built this trend around like, cast of friends uploading every day, quantity of quality. It's been done a lot now because they kind of blew up 2 years ago, and then in the past 2 years a ton of people have hopped into this. But the core mechanics of what I think really helped them, their secret sauce, are the friend group. Having the chemistry. If you can have 4 people kind of jiving with each other, if you can have 4 people like, making jokes with each other, having a really good chemistry on screen when you're watching, that's going to make for a really interesting video. Some of the biggest channels, some of the most successful personality channels are a bunch of friends messing around. So if you can recreate that chemistry with a bunch of friends and record that, it's really strong. It makes for really strong, really interesting content. On top of that, they have like sort of a gaming sandbox. In Minecraft, they've created this sort of flexibility where they can make any idea. There's no cost restraints. There's literally no restraints at all. They can literally do anything. Want to simulate World War II? Make it in Minecraft. You want to, go to the moon? Make the moon in Minecraft. You want to be astronaut for 24 hours? You astronaut Minecraft skin. There's just like it's infinite. You have an infinite amount of creativity, and so with that, you can do ideas that no one else can do. And then also experimentation. One of the key things that uploading a lot can bring is that you're constantly testing. You can have half of your videos flop, and you learn so much from that you can apply those failings and the things you learn from those failings into the next videos and just keep compounding those learnings to the point where you can get to 1 million plus views a video. And then the final thing is really strong branding. I think they built these really strong branding with these 2 characters of Cash and Nico. And there's a ton of science behind like the one character being red, the one character being blue, each character having their own unique color, each character having their own unique lore. I think that makes for really strong branding. And they are the ones that definitely stick out the most in this sort of kids content space versus all the thousands of other people that have come in and copied them. But yeah, I think that the core thing, if we were to really break it down to one main thing that's helped them blow up, is that they're making better content than 90% of other channels while also posting daily. If you think about that, that's insane. They're making better content than 99% of YouTube channels. Doesn't matter if you're posting daily. 99% of YouTube channels, and they're posting daily. I think really just focus on like, okay, how can I hire better? How can I build better teams? How can I outsource work, but then also maintain a level of quality, building SOPs, building systems so that, editors, you don't have to spend 5 hours leaving revisions on every single video, but, the editor can kind of quality control their work themselves by going through a sort of checklist of, okay, should the video needs this, you need J-cuts for this, there should be flow, the first point should be done in 30 seconds, there should never be 3 jokes in a row, things like that they can kind of checklist through. And just really outsourcing and optimizing your time, building a really strong team. And then also I think pivotal thing that really helped them is having a really good strategist, having a really good consultant who can help them come up with really good ideas, really good thumbnails, because, this is a pitch because this is what I do, right? But like, I really think like even for the best YouTubers, and I've worked with a lot of YouTubers, and my agency has worked with a lot of YouTubers like Nick DiGiovanni, and these guys are great YouTubers, right? Like they don't really need to hire people, but that's the same thing is they don't have the time in the day to spend doing this, So if they're constantly creating content, they don't have like 5 hours in a day to just grind out 1,000 different video ideas and then pick the very best one that's going to get 20 million views. They just don't have the time for that. So they need to outsource it to someone who's skilled, who knows what they're doing to be able to do that and present them with, okay, this week, here's 5 ideas that I think will get 20 million views. Here's the proof why, here's the outlier, here's the psychology behind it. And then he can come in and be like, oh, okay, I know the food space. I've been creating content. I have 20 million subscribers in the food space. I can kind of see which idea will do the best. Oh, cooking with robots, that's a banger. That's going to do well. So I think that's a really strong aspect. So if you have 100K subscribers and you've been posting consistently for the last year, and you're looking to outsource the idea aspect or the thumbnail aspect, or you just need help with ideas, I'm going to throw a link in the description and we can hop on a call and talk about if this is the right fit and how I can help you.